Welcome to ilectureonline. Now let's try to find the electric field emanating from 2-point charges. So here are the 2-point charges. Let's say that they each have charge Q on them and they're distance d apart. And notice we want to find the electric field at this point P, a distance x away from the line connecting the two charges and perpendicular to the line right there, so that it's right at the midpoint between the two charges. So if this distance between them is d, then this is d over 2 and this is d over 2. Sometimes I like to make little substitutions like this, a equals d over 2, so that it's easier to do the calculations. So when you see this, you realize then we're going to have an electric field emanating in this direction from the first charge, and we're going to have an electric field emanating in this direction from the second charge. So let's call this E sub 2, and let's call this E sub 1. Notice that they're the same charge, Q1 is equal to Q2 in magnitude, but still, so we identify them. If this is our first charge right here, and this is our second charge right there, each of them having charge Q. Now notice there's going to be some symmetry here, because here I can say that this here is the x component of E2 and here is the y component of E2. So we write this as E2 in the y direction, E2 in the x direction, and the same with E1. We can write this as E1 in the x direction and write this as E1 in the y direction. So we have the x and y components of each of the electric field vectors. But now notice that these two components in the y direction are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction, so they will cancel each other out. So it turns out that the net electric field is simply going to be the sum of the two x components. So we can say that the electric field at this location is simply equal to the x component of the first charge and the x component of the second charge. Let's see here, x component of the first and the second. I guess I reversed the order of these. Let's keep it the same. So E1 in the x direction, E2 in the x direction. There we go. So it's simply the vector sum of those two, and since they're pointing in the same direction, we can simply add the two together. So now all we have to do is figure out what these x components are. Notice that there's an angle theta here, which is the same as this angle theta right there. So what we could say is that E sub 1, for example, the magnitude of E sub 1 is equal to the magnitude of or I should say E in the x direction is equal to the magnitude of E sub 1 times the cosine of the angle theta. Okay, now we have to figure out what the magnitude is of the x components. So E1, we'll start with E1, is going to be equal to, and of course that's the same magnitude as E2. I might as well write it. So E1 is equal to E2, which is equal to, well, we have K times the charge Q divided by the distance squared, like this. But now what is the distance squared? R. Since that is the hypotenuse of this triangle, we can say that R squared is equal to x squared plus d over 2 squared, or simply a squared. So that's why I make those little substitutions. It makes it easier to write, and we'll substitute at the end. So we can plug that in here, and so that's equal to k times q divided by r squared is going to be x squared plus a squared. But what about the cosine of theta? Because now what we want E1 in the x direction, which is equal to E2 in the x direction, which is now equal to k times q divided by x squared plus a squared times the cosine of theta. But let's see here, the cosine of theta, by definition, let's write that down. The cosine of theta, by definition, is equal to the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse. So if we take a look over here, the adjacent side would be x, and the hypotenuse would be r. So that would be equal to x over r. And of course, r again is defined over here. So we can say that this is equal to x divided by the square root of, how did I write it? Yeah, x squared plus a squared. So that means that we can replace the cosine of theta by what we said it was equal to. So this becomes equal to k times q over the quantity x squared plus a squared times And then here we have x over the square root of x squared plus a squared. All right, now we can combine the denominator because we're multiplying here. So this is x squared plus a squared to the first power and x squared plus a squared to the 1/2 power. So when we multiply, the bases are the same, we add the exponents. So we can say that e1x is equal to e2x is equal to k times q divided by, q times x, right? So we have an x there, divided by the quantity x squared plus a squared to the 3/2 power. And then finally we can substitute back in because a was d over 2 and k can be written as 1 over 4 pi epsilon sub naught. And these are equal to each other. And notice that the magnitude of the electric field, so we say that E, the magnitude of the electric field, is simply equal to the magnitude of the x component of 1 plus the magnitude of the x component of the second vector. So we simply add them together. Since they're equal in magnitude, we simply say it's twice that. So we can say that E is equal to 2 times E1 sub x, or which is equal to 2 times E sub 2x, the x direction, which simply is equal to twice that. So 2, instead of k, we can write, I should write an equal sign, equal. So it's 2 divided by 4 pi epsilon sub naught. K, so we have q x divided by the quantity x squared plus, instead of a, we're going to write d over 2 squared to the 3/2 power, like this. And then if we want to make a vector out of that, we can simply make a vector out of that by writing this and then adding the unit vector x at the end. And so there we now have the electric field at point P caused by the two charges. Notice the symmetry allows us to get rid or eliminate the y components, and it simply then becomes the addition of the x components since they're pointing in the same direction, which is simply add them together. And the total electric field is equal to twice the one or the other x component, so 2 times 1 over 4 pi epsilon sub naught q times x over x squared plus d over 2 squared to the 3/2 power in the r direction. Straight up. Ooh, no, this is wrong. Not the r direction. We're pointing in the x direction, so this should be the x direction, not the r direction. So yeah, that was a mistake. So make sure we don't make that mistake. All right, and that is how it's done. With the correct unit vector, of course.